you get the ball, right? And obviously you kind of have to adjust on the fly to everything that's happening. But we were talking about on the way up, but like when you score, right? Like when you cross the threshold there, like are you cognizant of the fact that this is like touched like the first one, or are you just like kind of lost in that moment?
You kind of get lost in the moment. I just was so excited. All I could do was just celebrate with my teammates, and I looked up and tried to find my family in the crowd because I wanted to share that moment with them a little bit. But it was a great feeling. Then like after the play is over, then you kind of settle down. And it's like, okay, like I just scored a touchdown. That was my first one. Like where's the ball at? Like all the little things start to kick in. But it's a great feeling overall though.
And we do have the ball, right?
Yeah,
the ball has been secured, right?
We got the ball right now. I gotta get it like all like painted nice, but my kids are at home playing with it right now as we speak. So
look at you, man! What a good dad! Like it's so funny too, right? Like you come out, you family guy DJ, right? Where it's like this is a huge moment, right? Like
right.
Professionally for you, like I don't want to say the culmination of a lot of things, but definitely like a cool moment that one day you're going to tell your kids about. And they're just playing with the football, just running around, like letting it rip.
Just add it to their collection.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at some point, like I said, I'll get it painted and it'll say first touchdown and all that stuff. But right now, it's theirs until then.
Good man. Smart man, too. When you look at the big fellows up front, those five, like what stood out to you about the young guys?
Man, just the energy. Just starting with JPJ. That dude he's hilarious. He loves to play football, and I want my linemen to be a little thrown off. I do, I don't want them to be completely sane people. I want them to kind of be a little crazy, and he brings kind of that old school, idea of just like, whoa, he likes to bang his head, he likes to hit people, and you see him, he's jumping on piles. You gotta be a little careful. I don't want to get any extracurricular, flags that we don't need, but that fires us up, because we see that this guy is locked in, he's ready to go, and DJ is just cool, calm, and collected. He doesn't talk much, but he's a guy who's gonna do it right every single time, and he's just getting better every week.
Now that it's way far behind us now, like, what were you feeling going into that week 3? I mean, nervous, excited, like, kind of combination, everything, like.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of combination. I was for sure nervous. That was my first, like I said, my first game in the NFL. You don't know what to expect, and it was against a veteran guy in Jadeveon Clowney, so. I was for sure nervous. Like I said, I just didn't want to mess up, didn't want to make mistakes, and I just wanted to go out there and play the best that I could. So the nerves was definitely there, but I was excited to be able to get out there and play.
Do you kind of like getting that hit out of the way that first time, like a DB or a linebacker, like lets you know they're like you're there, you're like, okay, we're back, like we can do this thing for real now?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'd rather be the one who hit first. Like I want to be the hammer anytime I can be, but. Yeah, taking that hit, man, getting back up. The getting back up is always the best part, I think, because then like, you good. Like, you took one, it didn't bother you. Like, get back up, keep going.
It's so funny, too. We see all the time, like, the cut-ups that the league does of wide receivers getting out there and getting gritty, getting nasty, being advocates, being valuable in the run game, especially for a team like this who, AP has said so many times, like, we want to run the ball. We want to be able to control the line of scrimmage. Like, how important is it for the wide receiver room in general to be committed to that part of the game?
I mean, I think it's really important. We a unit, right? Like, if we wanted to catch the ball, ultimately, we need the linemen, the running backs, the quarterback. We need everybody to kind of do their part for us to have the time to get open. So I think we got to pay that forward, honestly, when it's our turn. We don't want anybody teeing off on the running backs, you know what I mean, getting free runs, knocking them out. So that's just our moment to go kind of pay that back and then just make our name known with how we hit, what's our presence like on the running game. So
I got to ask you before I let you go, too, because it's come up a lot. We've talked about the maturation of Trayvon, right? Yeah. More vocal, the kind of old head in the back of that DB room. Now, one thing that also feels like it's maturing and evolving are the pregame outfits. Like, it feels like we are a long way away from rookie Trayvon walking through that tunnel at Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah,
right?
Man. Yeah. Had some more, experience throughout the years to get my eyes on some fashion tips and, speak to some others, get my fashion style up. So, I've been trending in the right direction.
I would agree. I would agree. Like, how was the rest of the locker room? How the rest of the DBs responded to this new fashion forward Trayvon?
I think they're picking it up, man. They all got, a swag of their own. So, they come every Sunday, swagged out. So, my dog Zay stepped it up too. We were just talking about it last game, from when he first came in here. He stepped up his swag game to another level too, so big shout out to him.
The first carry, going back to the Broncos game, first carry against the Broncos, what was that like?
I mean, it was just a moment like I'm really here, I'm really playing in the NFL game, I'm living my dream. I'm out here, I'm continuing just a ball, and that first carry, that first snap, everything just felt like slow motion. It's like, oh, like I'm really doing this, and then everything just happened in the blink of an eye. But again, like I wasn't surprised, but I was just more excited for that moment.
What's that kind of like in the huddle, right? When you know, like, oh shoot, like this is coming for me, like this is go time for me.
Yeah, like it's like the anticipation there. You excited, like you just constantly like, oh, I'm about to get it. Like your anxiety gets up, but you just like you happy, and I like fully enjoyed the whole entire moment that I was out there around the people, just around the guys, and I know the ball is coming at me, and I'm just excited because I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to show the world what they've been missing out.
I did tell you one of the reasons I wanted to bring you up here is I did want to talk about the My Cause, My Cleat stuff. I think it's, the NFL does such a good job with so many of its like social justice initiatives and giving you guys an opportunity to kind of share things that are really important to you. And this year, again, they're doing it, and I think it's one of the best things that they do the entire calendar year. So, AJ Cole, the floor is yours. What is the cleats that we're going to be wearing? What are they going to look like? And two, what is the cause that we're championing in 2024?
So I'm a little stitious about the cleats, so I don't actually wear them in the game. You can't mess up the, it is what it is. So I don't actually wear the cleats, but the cleats that I have, they're for this organization called the Kenya Project. I've done them as my cause, my cleats every year. I went over there in college, and it's an organization that supports a school, and there's about 800 kids that go there. And it's actually an organization that I'm on the board of now, which has been an awesome experience for me. But I went over there 5 times, and hopefully going to go back at some point. Still working on trying to figure that out. But it's a really cool organization that, I've been boots on the ground, so I've actually seen, where the money that's being donated goes to, and I've seen what it does and how it's kind of changed the life of these kids. Since I've been working with them, that we built a trade school over there, so that kids that don't have an opportunity to advance their education can learn how to become, a plumber, electrician, something like that. And so, yeah, it's called the Kenya Project. Their website's thekenyaproject.org. They do some incredible stuff over there, and I'm super fortunate to have been able to work with them, and I'm really excited always to have them on the cleats.
I think one of the really cool things about looking at, really, again, like the rookie class in totality, but like you in particular, is kind of this love affair that the fan base has formed with you, right? From day one, that first kind of introductory conference call, the fan base, like, this is our guy. Like, this is the kind of dude that we want to embody who we are as a fan base. And it's just kept going since you got here, and obviously playing in games now. Like, what is that like whole aspect of this been like for you to look around and see people wearing the jersey and fired up that you're playing football? I imagine it's got to be pretty cool.
No, I definitely think it's super cool, and I think it's really cool for my family and friends to get to see as well, all the support and kind of the fandom of it. And I think really, feeds into us, like, of wanting to put out the best, foot forward, the best team out there for the fans. They're unwavering. The Black Hole shows up every game, and to see that, we just want to give them the best we can. And it's really cool to see, and definitely just blessed that the fans are sometimes great and sometimes a little bit heckly, but I think they're just great fans. So
I've been so impressed the past couple of weeks with some of the young guys on this defensive line too. I mean, look at a guy like Caleb Vaughn, right, and Tyree, who's now in his second year. Like, guys who just feel like they're on the precipice of like taking that next step, right? Like, what have you seen from the young dudes on that line?
I've seen their attitudes change as well. I really have. It's been cool to see Tyree, grow, and I think a lot of people just forget like how young these guys are. Like, these are guys that are fresh out of college. I remember me coming out of college. I was a little bit older than them coming out, and I still just had no idea how the world worked. I had no idea how the NFL worked, and I had to, find my way just like them. And I can tell Tyree, KC and Jonah, I can tell they're finding their way. And I said it yesterday too, when I was asked by the media, like, they're proving to everybody right now that they're Raider material.